Well, good afternoon, viewers of the GMEB TV. As you heard from the preamble, we are here into Mr. Ba's office just to go on a little bit interview with him on the ECD, which is the Early Childhood Development in Educational System. Mr. Ba, good afternoon.
Afternoon. Thank you, GM EB TV. You are welcome. Yes, we can start this interview proper.
Yes, we want to concentrate on your domain as a senior lecturer in the Gambia College. When we talk about the ECD, this has been one of the oldest sections in the Gambia College, isn't it?
Indeed.
How significant is this in terms of education?
Yes, just to tell you, when you talk about early childhood education, as we mentioned in the Gambia, we always say ECD, that means early childhood development is the bedrock, is the foundation, is the root. Mm-hmm. So Gambia College, having developed courses around this area, is of great value for the country. Every nation look up to the children because those are the future leaders. We mold them, we build necessary educational programs for them so that they can get the best out of the educational program or system. So Gambia College crafted a system, a very effective one for that matter. Mm-hmm. That is the early childhood education or early childhood development program, where we develop courses, which is essential in helping teachers to have core knowledge on how to deal with young children. That is, when we talk about the early childhood development, we are talking about 0 to 8 years. This is the UNICEF definition of what is early childhood education or early childhood development. So this is the milestones that we are looking at. But in the Gambia, again, what we look at primarily is 3 to 6. That's where we are talking about the ECD, that is the early childhood education, ECD, or if you want, you call it the nursery. That's the common term that they use in the Gambia, nursery schools. Okay? So we look at courses that are very accurate and suitable for the program, that is looking at the age of 3 to 6. This is the cohort that we are looking at. That's where you have level 1, level 2, and level 3. But when you talk about ECD, you are talking about 0 to 8.
Well, it is always said that this is the most difficult stage when we are talking about the teaching and learning, because this is the time when children are very young. This is the time when children become so disturbance in the classroom. So you need teachers who are well experienced. You need teachers, most especially with patience. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, many will tell you that most of the teachers that are in this domain become female teachers because they are the one that can exercise most patience. As an ECD lecturer in the Gambia College here, what do you think could be the quality of a good ECD teacher?
Yeah, like you said, the statistic, if you draw, if you do research, you draw, is a female dominant sector. But, we have committed males that are also in the domain. Okay. Yes, we have even seen a lot of them coming, and then they are getting the enthusiasm to come. In fact, that love and care, we are now getting it in the male side, okay, which is encouraging, which we recommend and then commend, and then we hope that we'll see more coming. But to be candid, out of a class, when you pop in, you will have only maybe 5 to 6 males that are in the class. There's a female dominant sector. Like to draw you back, when we talk about early childhood development, the approach is holistic. Okay. When we say holistic, is that we are talking about an entire program. We will look at the ECD. And then when we talk about the holisticness, is that there are courses that are literacy, there are numeracy, you have courses on nutrition, you have courses on physical education, that is PE.
Okay.
So you have a whole lot of courses, which makes it holistic. And then you have courses on psychology, which is the backbone of the early childhood development, or in fact, when we talk about education, the EPS, carries as the backbone, or as the umbrella for education. So we have courses ranging from child development to research. Now, as you remember, we metamorphosize from the certificate level to a diploma level. Now we are looking at advanced. So we have our in-service students here who are also doing the program, which makes it essential just to ensure that we have quality services at the ECD or at the nursery school level. We know both the private and then the government are always waiting for us to supply them with the qualified and then efficient and then good model teachers. And in fact, we have what a course called play-based. I know many will want to ask a lot of questions around that.
Yeah.
Yes. So play is essential. In fact, one of the theories says what children knows, what they know is play, and that's why you say playful learning. Play goes with the learning.
Yeah,
So
because I'm not cutting
play.
you short, but many parents will say this is an opportunity where they will want their kids to stay away from them for hours while they also do their domestic work. So some of them will only take their kids to school, expecting that, yes, it's just a daycare situation where the kids will go play with their colleagues and come home. How important is that play?
Yeah, well, what Gambia, I think, is just because people, like I call it a Johnny come late. It's like we did not have a full understanding of early childhood education. When we say early childhood education is a preparatory stage. That is, if you look at World Bank, UNICEF, you look at UNESCO, they define this level as pre-primary. And what do we mean by pre-primary? Meanings, preparing them for school readiness. They invite, most of the time they say school readiness. So meaning, when are they ready for school is when they enter primary. So what do they do at the early childhood development? Is to develop their skills, develop their cognitive, develop their physical, to ensure that the child is holistically developed. You don't focus on only the brain, in which we see most of the teachers. Even after training them, giving them good instructional, dealing with a lot of games, play, so that when these teachers go, in the field, they are able to apply the knowledge, the skills that is learned. They become competent in ensuring that children are learning in both aspects, ranging from the cognitive to physicalities, even movement, even eye movement and so forth. So, and then the misdefinition sometimes is that when we are talking about here, we are talking about 3 to 6. We are not talking about the zero daycare,
Right.
Okay, which is also is another area where you need to study, you need to dwell on, or you have to have a program for it, for that area, or for it. Like we have the ECD, we have the primary.
Okay.
So if you want to deal with the daycare, you have to have a system for it. You have to have a syllabus courses for it, so that the teachers who are trained in that area will ensure that they apply those skills, those knowledge, to navigate through and then give them the best experiences that they will have before they enter into the ECD proper. Then they go to primary, then they become fully ready, both physical, cognitive.
Let's look at the cognitive aspect of it, because most of these kids, like I said, come from different background, come from different parental guidance. Some of them would be coming to school with stresses, maybe from home, and coming into a classroom, meeting with happier children or happier students together. There are morning activities sometimes that you teach your teachers to be doing force in order to bring their cognitive senses.
Yes, you have what you call stimulation. Okay, in the ECD you have what you call routines. like you call it timetable when you go to school, you know, the timetabling. So at the ECD, we call it routine. A child knows routine, knows like the changes that happen within their environment.
Okay.
You know, at this time, this is what I do. At this time, I cry. You know, the kids follow routinal. And then, in fact, in life, if you want to be successful, you need to have a routine. You need to have schedule so that you know what changes, you know, you needed to do at what time and so. So they follow the routine. So what do they do in the morning? You know, it depends on the school or the, let's say, if we take in the context of the ministry, they have in the morning they have what you call free play, which is very good, which is recommended, which is is a research that has defined how useful play is. And then, you know, looking at the context of play, what play does in the child. You know, imagine when you see these children at home, and then when you take them to school, you want to fix them in the four corners of your classroom, and then stand in front to instruct and give them instructional lessons, which, you know, sometimes you find very difficult to do. But if these children are given the choice, you know, in play you have what you call choice. You give them the choice to play. They have a toys that they want to play with. They have the friends that they want to play with. They have books that they want to look at and then turn pages or whatsoever. These are called developmental milestones. So the child, by holding the book turning, is developing the skills. Okay, is the child is learning.
Because that is where I wanted to come in. The time for one child to play might be the time for the other child crying. So the mixture of this, I think the teacher is very much important in bringing such place. And when we are going to nursery school, there were songs that they always sing as well.
Yes, exactly. These songs are essential, very important tools. But, you know, we should not also deviate that, you know, ECD is not only meant for singing. They have, you know, there is a purpose for singing, and then you also have to have a limit for it, because, you know, absolutely your interest is learning, and then, you know, learning goes with fun. So in that fun, it doesn't mean only songs. So you must create games. You must create a lot of activities that, you know, will help you to shape the child in the different forms. So it's not only coming with songs, and then, you know, sometimes you see they are not meaningful, and then, you know, which is drilling the child. You know, that's what we call one. Maria Montessori says this: every child that comes to ECD is fully prepared, is intelligent, has the cognitive, has the knowledge, but it depends on the teacher that will model that child. So the teacher can model the child and then rekindle the child, meaning can switch off the flame of that individual based on how the child is modeled. So if you just restrict the child, you know, the child want to do a lot of activities, child is super active in doing things at home and school, so the child should be given that freedom. And that's why we said freedom within what limits. You give the child that freedom and then guide the child what activities is that child supposed to do. But, you know, those are some of the issues that we talk about daily, because they are a problem in the system in which we see. When we observe students, we see these things. Yeah, when they talk about the environment. Of recent, I was, you know, following AU. They were doing a research, comparative research, that is in Kenya, Uganda, and Zambia, where we talk about class size. So always ECD we talk about class size. So it seems that it's not the class size that is the problem, but it's the methodology that is used.
Okay.
You know, it's the problem. So you want to teach a class of, let's say, 40 children, and you want to stand in front of that class. Obviously, you have the other child will pee, the other child will cry, the other one will, their needs are different. So that's why you open up the class and then give them multiple activities. So it's of essential that, you know, college has designed a curriculum is addressing these needs. And then I hope, you know, teachers will be able to pick up this and then will be able to implement them in their schools.
There has been a large increment in terms of number of teachers who are now yearning to go in for ECD, and we've seen development in that aspect of it. Yes. And how important is the regularity of these kids? Because most of these kids don't go to school by themselves. Their parents have to take them. Finally, what advice? Because I know some parents will be learning from this exact.
Yeah. You know, We have seen teachers coming. You will even be surprised now. You see somebody from the diploma, primary, coming to ECD, even advanced coming to ECD. The misconception is that always people who go to ECD, they have
Lower grades.
Yeah, maybe they didn't score well. you know we should be very sensitive. Children that we want them to become our scientists, our doctors, our teachers, and then we want to give them to this low cadre probably group that you design. And then you want to say, okay, those who get the best results can go for advanced diploma. Advanced, you are meeting those who are already prepared. It's like already the food is cooked for you at the
So you mean the ECD could be the foundation?
It's the foundation, is where we need the sensitive and then sensible individuals. Those who have a good cognitive, and then they have a love for the ECD, the preparatory stage. If your preparatory stage is good, then expect good things coming. Your grade 12 will never be a shadow of doubt. It will always come as you want. Your grade 9 will come as you want. But if you take all these locals or mimic cards and whatever you call them, you put them into the ECD, and then you want college to model them, and then give the society the needs. Yeah, we will try our best, and then we will produce. But the tone is there now. People have seen the need for early childhood. In fact, I can assure you, in fact, if you want a sponsorship, you come to the early childhood development, you get sponsorship, because the world is addressing it. Okay. We talked about 2016 to 2030, the
when it is young.
Yeah, it's part of even the courses, because we are going to, with this new program, we are going to have courses that will deal with the neuro development, apart from the child psychology, where that a child absorbance, you have what you call the absorbent mind, how much a child can absorb when it comes to information, when it comes to in times of play, how the child socialize and interact, all these things. At home, children who want to socialize, play, parents will start stopping. They will think that these children, that's the way they learn. Those are the experiences. As they do things, they see, they experience, they get knowledge out of it. And that's why you see they want to play with elders. Sometimes, now our generation, we are into mobile phone too much. Parents do not have the time, the desired time to give children, time to play. Even clapping 1, 2, 3, at least help them develop, a concept. Maybe mathematical concept, maybe literacy, that is language, any concept that the child. Sometimes the kids will come and they want to talk to you. You say, oh no, it's not time, wait. And then you are into maybe probably TikTok, or you are into something, your business, when this child needed your support at that time. And then the support that you will give that child will go a long way in helping shaping that life of that individual, because that's the interest of the child.
Well, finally, before we bring down the curtail, I think this is where the growing of the seeds comes. It is always an adage or a belief that if education is a seed, the seed should be grown at home, watered in the school, and harvested in the society. But right now, what we are seeing is, it seems like the same seed is now being grown in the school and watered in the school. With this number of teachers that you are grooming in the Gambia College here, are you optimistic that these guys can water the seed for the society?
Exactly. This is the anticipation, and then this is why college is always trying to redesign. Let's say when we talk about curriculum, curricular changes based on the need. So when the need was certificate, we were running the certificate programs. When the need came to us to go to a diploma, we change. So as the society unfolds, that's how we are also unfolding our programs. I think along the line, we are even talking about professional development courses for ECD. Not even only because the government has annexed the ECDs into primary, and then these primary teachers do not understand what content should be given to children. So developing a professional courses for them, it is going to add value, taking those people for programs, and then they understand the concept of early childhood education and how can they manage schools or children in terms of show that the conflict between the ECD facilitator and then the head is breached.
Okay.
You see, these are some of the issues. And then you have also parents. We have what you call the parental programs. So I hope, in the future, Gambia College will run even parental programs, which is happening in other countries. Right now, I can tell you in Kenya, they have what you call a program like retire but not tired. You have retired active services who can facilitate learning at the early childhood education, which will vast knowledge, experience. So all they needed is they need to have a guardian on how to take children.
Right.
So training them within few months, they are done, and then filter them. They give you a superb ECD children. At the end of the day, quality will not be an issue. Because if the quality is missing at the grassroots, that is the early childhood, then you will always be talking about quality at the top. You see, that's where we said always in terms of youth advocates, we said changes at the lower is better than changes at the upper. Because changes at meaning is going to be a continuation, it's going to be a hook. So but want to change up and then come down, will be difficult,
Quite interesting excerpt, and I believe someone somewhere out there must have learned a lot from this excerpt. Thank you very much, Mr. Ba, for the time.
I would even want to tell you also don't need to relent to learn ECD. I can tell you, in fact, not long there was conferences on how to journalism, how to advocate for early childhood education programs, because it's a new domain. So we have seen it was an application, and then it is fully funded programs. Because these are areas that are gray. So if you are doing your journalistic or journalism, anchor it also on the early childhood education, advocate for early childhood programs ranging from nutrition, education, health, and any other aspect, even climate in early childhood education is something we don't experience it much in the Gambia, but places like Kenya, where you can have rainfall almost throughout in certain areas, it has impact in the education of children. So I will also encourage the media to take up the responsibilities of also selling the agenda of early childhood education.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
Audio Jungle.